So let's start with the questions for this poem, which we have already seen that we've read the poem and the chapter also with the same theme, where we have seen the pathetic and the miserable condition of these slum children who are leading a life in poverty, and since their birth till the death they live in that dark future. No hope is there for their future till anyone comes forward and help them, support them. Their lot or their condition cannot be improved. Now, coming to the first question given in the back exercise, tick the item which best answers the following. There are some options, MCQs questions, and this will be the form in which you are going to have the objective questions in the paper also now. So yes, Ketan Sethi has raised a hand. Very good. Yes, beta, read the
Yes,
first
ma'am.
question and then options, then answer.
The tall girl with her head weighted down means the tall girl is ill and exhausted. First answer.
You must read all the options so that everyone should
Okay,
be
ma'am.
clear. Those who have not read
The
at home, कुछ लोग ऐसे हैं जो नहीं खोलते होंगे बुक जाके इंग्लिश की, क्योंकि ये सबसे एंड में खुलती है when you have extra time, है ना? तो
the
at
girl is
least
ill and exhausted, has her head bent with shame, has untidy hair. The
yes.
answer is option one.
Yes, the answer is the tall girl with her head weighed down means the girl is ill and exhausted. Okay. Yes. Next student. Coming to the next question, I can see Gurveer Kaur and then Jasmine Kaur. Quickly unmute yourself and answer the
Yes,
next
ma'am.
question.
The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes means the boy is option A sly and secretive, option B thin, hungry and weak, option C unpleasant looking. Answer is option B thin, hungry and weak.
Yes, second option. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes means the boy is thin, hungry, and weak. Coming to the next question, Jasmine beta.
The stern,
The
unlucky hair of the twisted bones means the boy first has an inherited disability, second was short and bony. First option has an inherited disability.
Yes, has an inherited disability. He has got this disability or this disease of twisted bones from his father. So it is an inherited disability which he has got. Okay, coming to the next question. Question number 4. Now I can see the next student, Diksha. Please, those who have answered, lower your hand so that others can come in the list. Diksha.
Yes, ma'am.
And after this,
His,
next name is Prabjot. Yes, beta.
his eyes live in a dream, a squirrel's game in the tree room. Other than his means, the boy is full of full of hope in the future, mentally ill, or distracted from the lesson. Option C, distracted from the lesson.
No, his eyes live in a dream. A squirrel's game in the tree room. Other than this means, क्या मतलब है इसका? That the boy also wants to have the same type of freedom as the squirrel was having, going inside the hollow space of the tree and coming out according to his or its own will. What does it show? That the boy is full of hope in the future. He also has a dream, just like the squirrel getting freedom. Clear? Diksha, is it
Yes,
clear
ma'am.
now? This is the first
Yes,
option.
ma'am.
Full of hope in the future. He hopes to do something good and get freedom in future, just like the squirrel who is playing the game of coming and coming out and going inside the hollow space of the tree. Okay. Next one, Prabjot. Coming to
The
the next
children's
question.
spaces, the children's spaces are compared to rootless weeds. This means they are insecure, are ill-fed, are wasters. The answer is are insecure.
Yes, are insecure. There is no security of their future. Rootless weeds, weeds समझते हो ना, जो unwanted plants, bushes, कुछ भी ऐसे झाड़ियाँ सी उगाती हैं, and they don't have the roots. उनकी कोई secure root नहीं होती proper, उनकी जिसको कहते हैं ना पकड़ नहीं होती ज़मीन के साथ, so that is insecure, कभी भी गिर सकती हैं. That these children are just like these rootless weeds. Their future is insecure. They don't have any security of their future. What they are going to do in the future, they don't know. Okay. Next, coming to question number 2. Now I can see Nishant Thakur, and after that Jessie Clare. Yes, question number 2, Nishant Thakur.
What do you think is the color of sour cream? Why do you think the poet has used this expression to describe the classroom walls?
Yes.
The color sour cream is used by the poet to signify the dull and shabby walls of the classroom.
Yes.
It is well known that the conditions of the slum schools is deteriorating day by day. Hence, to show lifeless and dull life of the poor children, the poet has used these words.
Very good, very good. The color of sour cream is off-white, and the poet has used this expression to suggest the decaying aspect or the deterioration in the color of the classroom wall symbolizes the pathetic condition of the lives of these children who are sitting in this slum school. Very good answer. Next, Jessie beta, question number 3. Yes, Jessie Clare.
The walls of the classroom are decorated with the pictures of Shakespeare, buildings with domes, world maps, and beautiful valleys.
Yes.
How do these contrast with the world of these children? These pictures hung on the wall symbolize progress, prosperity, growth, and beauty.
Yes.
All these things, these are in sharp contrast with the world in which those children live, because their world is it is full of poverty. Their world is pathetic. They live in miserable conditions with no hope and uncertainty in future.
Very good, very good. The pictures that decorate the walls hold a stark contrast, clear contrast with the world of these underfed, poverty stricken slum children living in the cramped, dark holes. Obstacles hamper their physical and mental growth. The pictures on the wall suggest beauty, well being, progress, and prosperity. That is a word of sunshine and warmth of love. But the word of the slum children is ugly and it lacks prosperity. Very good. It is only to show the contrast and symbolize the contrast of the outside world and the inside world, inside the classroom and outside the slum area. Clear? Yes. Coming to the next question. Now I can see the next student raising hand, Matthew. And after this, next one is, yes, Matthew, beta, you unmute yourself. Then we have Aditi Kwatra and Tisha. Yes. Matthew. Yes, beta, read the next.
What does the poet want for the children of the slum? How can their lives be made to change?
Yes.
The poet wants the people in authority to realize their responsibility towards the children of the slum. All sort of social injustice and class inequality should be ended by eliminating the obstacles that confine the slum children to their ugly and bad surroundings. Let the children to study and express their feelings.
Yes. Which book you have in
Then
front of
after
you?
they will.
Can you let me know which book you have in front of you? You have full mark? You're reading from the book,
Ma'am.
a full mark publisher. You're reading from a book, full mark publisher. Yes? Am I right? Better try to give
Yes.
your own answers. You can get the idea from that, no doubt. You should have revised the poem. But now here, when discussion part is going on, you must try to give your own ideas and use your own language. Your answer is right, no doubt. But don't use the exact wording that is given in the book for the discussion part. Okay, we cannot cram these type of questions. You can give your own opinion and your views in your own language. The purpose is the original language should be used. Okay. So what we have seen according to this poem, that the poet wants for the children of the slum that all the great leaders, politicians, officials, inspectors, governors, that means high class people, they should come forward to help these children. Only then the lives of these children can be changed. If they don't come, these children can come into revolt. And these children should be provided opportunity to go outside, enjoy the beauties of nature, read the books, express their views and ideas. Only then a new history can be created. So the poet makes a request to all these persons to come forward and create a new history by supporting these children and providing them opportunities and good environment. Okay. Yes, now see one thing in the box they have written in your book. Notice how the poet picturizes the condition of the slum children. Notice the contrasting images in the poem. For example, a narrow street sealed in with the lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of wisdom. In both these lines, total contrast of the images is given. One line tells us about the narrow streets which are sealed with the lead sky, कि एक ऐसी तंग गली है जो कि आगे आकाश के झुकने से बंद है. There is no way to come out. And in the second line, the poet has given the open places, the rivers, the capes, the mountains, the stars in the sky, the wisdom which they can get out of this world. When they will go out, they will become aware about all these things. They will enjoy all these things, outside beauties. They will get the wisdom out of this. So in these two lines are in clear-cut contrast given by the poet. Image contrast is used here. Okay. Now coming to the next part, let me discuss with you some of the literary devices used in the poem. Can anyone explain? Yes, no hand raised now. Ashwinder Kaur and Savraj Kanav Batra.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Ashwinder Batra.
Ma'am, here in the poem, simile is used many times.
Where? Where?
Ma'am, in the third paragraph,
Third
with
stanza,
mended
not paragraph. Poem में stanza होता है.
third, in the third stanza,
Yes.
like bottle bits on stones. Here, here simile is used.
Yes.
And the second time, in the third stanza only,
Yes.
last line, so, with slums as big as doom. Here
Yes.
simile is used.
As big as doom, and then we had here
And
like bottle bits on stones. Third last line of the same stanza. Yes.
And in the fourth stanza only, in the third line, that shut upon their lives like catacombs.
Like catacombs,
Here,
yes.
their lives are compared with catacombs, with the graves.
Underground
Here
graves,
simile is
yes.
used.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear?
And yes.
Yes, next student, Aditi Kwatra. Aditi, I cannot see the next students raising hand. Beta, please take initiative, come forward, participate in the discussion.
Ma'am, yes.
Aditi, beta, in the
Ma'am,
first stanza, can you explain
yes.
the images or the symbols used?
Ma'am, in first stanza, like rootless weeds. In this, through simile, poet describes the rough and the untidy hair of the slum child.
Yes.
Rat's eyes is metaphor.
Yes.
And the poet wants to convey that the boy is timid as a rat.
Yes. Timid as rat can be said, or it can go for the positive side also, having keen observation.
Yes, I mean,
both meaning can be given. Yes, weak, timid.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you can say having very keen observing eyes, just like rat. Then
And yes,
any other image used?
Father's what's the pronunciation of this word?
Gnarled.
Gnarled.
G silent like a gnarled.
Gnarled disease. This is also a metaphor.
The poet compares the thin and the weak body of the boy with the disease-stricken body of his father.
Then there is one more image used, paper seeming boy. Paper seeming boy. When we read these lines in the first stanza, we get the visualization of those children. जैसे ही आप उसको पढ़ते हो, आपके सामने एक पिक्चर सी प्रेजेंट होती है, ठीक है? जैसे आप कहते हैं टॉल गर्ल, एकदम से टॉल गर्ल की पिक्चर आपको इमेजिन हो जाती है, उसका सिर झुका हुआ है, बेंट हेड, पेपर सीमिंग बॉय मतलब पेपर की तरह थिन, ठीक है, स्टंटेड, जिसकी ग्रोथ नहीं हुई प्रॉपर, बोन्स ट्विस्टेड है, ऐसा लड़का, और एक फिर ऐसा स्वीट एंड यंग बॉय, मतलब एकदम से आपके माइंड में इमेजेस क्रिएट होते हैं. You can visualize these pictures in front of your eyes. So these all can be taken in the form of images also. Okay, clear? Yes. Next, Savraj. Savraj, beta, please unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta. Listen the question. Why does Stephen Spender use the images of despair and disease in the first stanza of the poem, and with what effect? Why does the poet has used these images of despair and disease, and what effect has he given to the poem through this? Yes, beta? What do you feel? Why the poet has used these images? He could use the good images also. All these are relating to despair and misery, sadness. Why he has used? Yes. Please raise your hands. Rest of the students. Same students are raising hand again and again. Sanjana Virdi. Sanjana Virdi. Please unmute yourself. Drishti Bedi. Drishti Bedi. Samvit Dugal. Jasmine from Commerce.
Yes, ma'am. Will you please repeat the question?
Yes. The question is, why does Stephen Spender, this is the name of your poet, why does Stephen Spender use the images of despair and disease in the first stanza, and with what effect? What is the purpose of using these type of images? Why the poet has used these images, and what effect has been created through those images? Not clear? Khushi beta?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the author has used, the poet has used the despair as the tall girl. Her head is burdened with the ill and exhausted, and the paper seeming boy, and disease of the paper seeming boy as his bones are twisted. He used this in the first extract to show the miserable, horrible condition of the people living in the slum area.
Not
and
people, we are talking about the children.
Of the
children living in the slums
and
or sitting in that classroom.
That they need very much help and they have a very bleak future. So he indicates in this para that they are helpless.
Yes, and it has created a very good effect. We are able to get to know, we are able to get knowledge about these children, about their condition, about their pathetic and the miserable condition. So the poet is successful in using these images to create the effect of that. Okay. The poet has used these images of despair and disease to describe the miserable and pathetic lives of the children living in the slum area. And then you can mention about 2 or 3 images which have been used, and at the end you can conclude that the poet has used these images in a very effectful way and is able to create that effect what the poet wants to. Okay. Now coming to the extract part given in your practice paper, See the beginning lines. Now, I would like the student to come forward. Please raise your hands quickly. Those who want to answer. Those who have already answered, they can lower their hands. Muskan Verma, 11th, roll number 11, medical. Muskan Verma. Please bit unmute yourself. Muskan Verma. Harshita Gandhi. Harshita Gandhi. No one is ready. Please unmute yourself, beta. Don't waste the time.
मैम क्वेश्चन है क्या?
Beta, we are going to discuss the extract part from the lines of the poem with the practice paper. I'll tell you the question. If you don't have the practice paper, no problem. You can listen.
Okay, ma'am.
We'll be discussing the questions on the basis of the lines, extracts from the poem. Who is there? So again, same hands raised. Beta, why you are wasting the time? Then I need to go for those students only. Damanpreet Kaur, Vanshika Kapoor. Please unmute yourself. Any one of you? Damanpreet, Vanshika. You are not ready to answer. No one is willing. Pranjal, Pranavori. Pranavori. Okay, if you are not willing. Yes, Sanya. Sanya and Gurpreet. Yes, Sanya beta. Please read the first 3 lines of the poem.
Far, 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 far from gusty waves, these children's faces, like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor, the tall girl with her weighed down head.
Yes, who are these children?
These children are the children living in the slum areas and living a very miserable and pathetic life.
Yes, what does the poet mean by gusty waves?
The gusty waves means the strong winds, and here it refers to that the slum children are totally away from the nature and they have never enjoyed the natural surroundings.
Yes, very good. Gusty waves here refers to the strong winds, and the poet wants to express this idea that these children who are living in the slum area, who are going to this elementary school in the slum area, they are very, very far away from these natural surroundings. They have never enjoyed the natural scenes. Next question, what has possibly weighed down the tall girl's head?
The burden of how she is going to be successful and what she is going to do in her life has weighed down the tall girl's head.
Yes, it may be her ill health, her worry about her future, and her exhausted time which she had been suffering due to this pathetic condition has weighed down her head. Next, identify the figure of speech used in these lines that we have already discussed, the images, and like rootless weeds is the simile used here. Okay, coming to the next lines. Next lines, again the same students raising hand. Anyone new, please come forward. Gurpreet.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, read the next lines till the ending of the first stanza.
The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes, the stern, unlucky hair of twisted bones, reciting a father's gall disease, his lesson from his desk at back of the dim class.
Yes, continue till the end.
uh, at the back of the dim glass, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in the dream of Scare's game, in tree room other than this?
Who is the unlucky here?
The lean and thin boy having rat's eyes and a stern growth in the unlucky hair. He will inherit twisted bones from his father.
Beta, please see there is full stop after with rat's eyes. That boy is different one. The paper seeming boy with rat's eyes is different. The stunted,
Okay, ma'am.
unlucky ear of twisted bones reciting a father's gnarled disease, his lesson from the desk. Here is full stop. This is another boy. We are talking about
Okay, ma'am.
different children sitting in that classroom. So, unlucky ear is referred to the stunted boy who has not got the proper growth. He has twisted bones and he has inherited this disease from his father. Okay. Next
Okay, ma'am.
question. What has he inherited? What has he inherited? Yes, beta. Gurpreet. What has he inherited? Gurpreet.
Sorry, ma'am. इसका नहीं पता मैम आंसर.
बेटा अभी तो मैंने बताया आपको, अभी तो उस क्वेश्चन में मैंने कवर किया है. क्या इनहेरिट करा है उसने अपने फादर से?
He will inherit twisted bones from his
विल
father.
नहीं, ही हैज इनहेरिटेड. ऑलरेडी हो चुकी है उसको वो प्रॉब्लम, तभी उसकी बोन्स ट्विस्टेड है ना, मुड़ी हुई है उसकी बोन्स. ही इज नॉट हैविंग प्रॉपर ग्रोथ ऑफ हर बॉडी, ऑफ हिज बॉडी. ही हैज इनहेरिटेड द gnarl डिजीज फ्रॉम हिज फादर. ओके, ये डिजीज होती है जिसमें जॉइंट्स प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है और बोन्स ट्विस्ट हो जाती है, मुड़ जाती हैं हड्डियां. He has inherited this disease from his father. Next is, who is sitting at the back of the dim class? Who is sitting at the
Uh,
back of the
a,
dim
s-
class?
a sweet young boy sits at back of this dim class.
Yes.
Uh,
Hmm?
he sits there unnoticed.
Yes. Sweet and young boy is sitting at the back of the dim class. How is he different from the rest of the class? How is he different from the rest of the class? Yes? Not clear? Jasmine, 27 from Commerce.
As he's having a hopeful dreams in his eyes, and he dreams of a better time that he will get out of this slum world to have a bright future.
Yes, he is not thinking and feeling depressed and sad just like the other children. He has a dream in his eyes, just like the squirrel, that he would get freedom someday in his future and would come out of this condition. Okay, now coming to the next lines, second stanza. Quickly, I would like the next student to read. नो न्यू स्टूडेंट इज रेजिंग हैंड, बार बार वही स्टूडेंट्स आ रहे हैं. यस, हिना तनेजा. हिना तनेजा. हरजोत परमार, मेडिकल रोल नंबर 3. Anyone quickly? We are left with 3 minutes only.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is there? Please let me know your name.
Harjot.
Harjot. Yes, beta. Read the second stanza.
On sour cream walls, donations. Shakespeare's head, cloudless at dawn, civilized, dome riding all cities. Belled, flowery, Tyler's Valerie, open-handed map, awarding the world its world.
Okay, up
And
to
yet,
this. Oh, okay, up to these only. What do you mean by on sour cream walls donations?
in this stanza, the poet describes the dirty classroom. The walls of the classroom are pale and dirty and give a rather unpleasant feeling.
Yes. There is one word added, donations also. On sour cream walls, donations.
Means on the walls are the displayed names of people who have given donations.
Not names. The pictures or the portraits which are on the
wall.
walls, they are donated by some great people or some rich people. Okay, that means all those pictures or the portraits which are hanging in the classroom to give knowledge to the children are donated by some people. Clear? Second question, what is the children's attitude towards Shakespeare's picture hung on the wall?
There is no kind of motivation which children can get from those pictures, as it entirely represents totally opposite to their world in which they are living, that is
Yes,
slum area.
so they had a very indifferent attitude towards the Shakespeare's picture because they have nothing to learn from this great personality. It does not belong to their world. Okay, now we are left with only 1 minute. I'm leaving it here. We'll continue with the discussion of these extracts. Please come with the reading of these and try to write the answers in your practice paper or the assignment I'll send you. Okay. Still, if you have any doubt, you can ask.